Hey, it's me, your boy Blue Geargias, and today I'll be doing another one of my Yu-Gi-Oh! Tier analysis videos. And I'm gonna start off with Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine, yeah, it still exists because Konami wants it to exist and live for some reason. Anyways, let's get right into this. Many mine builds exist, meaning that it's versatile. You can play Mystic Mine Burn, you can play Mystic Mine Exodia, or you can play Mystic Mine Final Countdown. Or you could try to play all three, or at least two of them together, if you want to. This deck can easily cause your opponent to rage quit / surrender swiftly because no one really wants to play against Mystic Mine unless they're a masochist. This deck is incredibly consistent due to all its ways of getting to Mystic Mine and actually keeping Mystic Mine safe. And it has amazing stun and control power because you're also able to rearrange your opponent's deck. You're able to prevent them from activating certain outs to out your Mystic Mine. There are many ways you can actually protect Mystic Mine via your Solemns. You can use Prohibition, Field Barrier. There are many different options. Plus, you have Cauldron of the Old Man, which provides a lot of burn damage. As for the cons, making friends can become very difficult playing this deck. People won't want to reproduce with you. People will think you're a fan of the movie Cuties. This deck lost two metaverses, meaning that you it doesn't really matter actually. I guess metaverse actually does make this deck a lot more powerful, but it's not all that much weaker than it was before. It can't play through too many negates, which obviously, unless they open Dark Ruler no more, your opponent's obviously going to negate that or just blow it up with a card as soon as you just slap the card down onto the field. So I would say that this deck is a tier 2 deck. Obviously, meta decks can easily out this card and get around this card. Every other deck, not so much. So, which is why I'd say it's a tier 2 option. Next is Geargias. Yeah. Geargias are a machine Xyz deck. They're rank 4 base. And they are criminally unsupported. For the pros, we have Master Rule 5, and we have They Can Swarm. And for the cons, they don't have inherent monster removal, which kind of sucks. They lack more Geargias Xyz monsters, which also sucks since there are a few Geargias cards that actually lock you into Xyz monsters, specifically Geargias Xyz monsters. They have been severely power crept. They can't play through more than one negate, and they are incredibly slow. So, yeah, I would say that this deck is a tier 4 deck. And next and lastly, we have Evols. Master Rule 5, because now you can actually summon multiple Evil Czars, and yeah, you can summon multiple Evil Czars now. I mean, this deck is still this deck still sucks, but hey, you can actually summon two of them, even though every other deck can actually play multiple negates, and way better than this deck. But oh well. They have good boss monsters. They have great spells and traps, which again kind of makes me question why does this deck suck. And as I can't speak today. As for the cons, they lack good Evosaur monsters. Okay, now I remember why this deck sucks so much. Basically, most of their Evosaurs do absolutely nothing, and this deck is incredibly reliant on the evil tiles to actually carry this deck through, which again sucks, and all of that for a fairly minor payoff since, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of other decks can actually set up pretty powerful negates on their first turn. This deck can easily brick because sometimes you can open up with the wrong amount of evil tiles and evil swords in your hand, therefore you essentially lose. Or if you're lucky enough, you can, get out an evil tile and an evil sword and link off into a link monster. Or you can essentially do that and hopefully open up with your non-searchable Evols Singularity, which, to my knowledge, isn't really searchable in this deck outside of cards like Trap Trick, which again isn't really all that good. It struggles against big monsters since, your highest attack. The highest attack in this deck is 26, plus this deck doesn't really have any ways of boosting your stats. This deck is incredibly slow because one of your best cards is a flip effect, which sucks for obvious reasons, especially considering that there's many ways to actually remove it from the field. Even back before the game got this fast, this deck was incredibly slow and power crept as is. And it can't play through more than one negate because this deck is painfully slow, therefore they can't really power through anything. And you, again, like I mentioned, have to rely on your evil tiles, or you might do what, I forgot the name of this YouTuber, but he likes dinosaur decks, and what he did was he just splashed in a dinosaur engine, like the Oviraptors and the Ultimate Conductors, to make this deck somewhat playable, which sucks. Anyways, I would have to give this deck tier 4, or even tier 4.5 due to how slow and sucky it is. Hopefully this deck actually gets more support other than just one monster with a very steep cost. And hopefully we actually get evil swords that do things. Anyways, it's me, your boy Blue Getsuga, and I'm out.